my name's Claire and this is Stitch and Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. Today's video is a roundup of everything I made in the month of June. So if that interests you, please stick around with me today. Now June has been a hugely productive month for me. I don't normally sew this much. I don't really know why I've managed to fit as much in this month as I have, but I certainly don't normally make as much as I have done this month. Now the first thing that I made in the month of June, right at the start, was this make here. This is the I Can Zip hoodie from Waves and Wild. I made this as a collaboration with the lovely Marissa from the Umbrian Sewist. We both sewed up each other's favourite Waves and Wild pattern as like a pattern swap, and her favourite pattern was the I Can Zip hoodie. So I've sewn this one up. It's in a sweatshirting fabric, and inside the hood it's got this gorgeous whale fabric, which I think is really cute, and obviously it's got the zip front there, and it's also got some gorgeous slanted pockets. So that one has sewn up really lovely. I've made the age 9 for my son. He's 7 but he's quite tall, and this one has come together really nicely for him and he's really pleased with it, and I'll pop a picture of him wearing it. Excuse me if I look down, I'm going to be looking at my notes to make sure that I've covered everything that I've sewed up this month. So the next item that I'm going to talk to you about is a shirt that I made for my husband. Now this is for the He Made June 22 challenge being run by the lovely Lisa from One Lisa's Show and Adam from Adam Sews, that was running in the month of June. And the idea behind that was to raise awareness about the lack of sewing patterns for men. There isn't such a huge selection, and also the size ranges on them aren't so great either at times. So the item that I've sewn up is the tropical shirt from Wardrobe by Me. This was the first time that I've sewn a shirt of any sort. Obviously this one's is more simple because it hasn't got the full kind of stand-up collar, it's just a camp collar on. But this one's come together quite nicely. It's got a little pocket here. It's quite hard to see in this fabric, I appreciate that. And on the back there is the back panel here. I've forgotten what that name, if that is, I'll pop it at the bottom here. And it's got two little sort of pleat details in the back here and here, which I think is really nice. And this one has come together really nicely. I really enjoyed sewing this pattern. I'll definitely be making more, and he's definitely asking for more. So that one has been a really great experience. Now the next items that I sewed were for another collaboration that I did with the lovely Crystal from my social thread, and we chose to sew up the Tillie and the Buttons Lyra and the Jennifer Lauren handmade Bastion culottes. So the first item that I sewed up was my 12 version for that particular pattern, the handmade Bastion culottes, and I just use a very inexpensive navy poly cotton for that, and I just love the detail. This is how you get in and out with this button bit, but it also forms the pocket as well. It's just a lovely detail. I love the fact that it looks like you're wearing a skirt, but actually it's shorts or culottes, and I just think this comes together super nicely and super lovely for wearing not just in the summer months but also into winter. So once I'd made the 12 version, I went on to make it in my actual fabric, which is this really fun Hawaiian fabric. It's kind of a petrol blue, dark blue colour with these Hawaiian Hawaiian flowers on, should I say. And this, I've went into a little bit more detail in relation to these makes on one of my Friday sews, so I'll link that all in the description below in relation to the tweaks and things that I made to the pattern to suit my body shape. As I say, the other item that we sewed up together was the Tillie and the Buttons pearl cardigan. Now this isn't coming up particularly well here. I'll pop a picture in of me wearing it, but it's got this sort of wrap front with the tie detail that doesn't show very well when it's not on a body, but this one again has come together really nicely, and it's one of Tillie's patterns that has got the good extended size range on as well. Size range, not side range, goodness me. Now the other challenge that I wanted to take part in the month of June was the T-shirt for summer challenge being run by the lovely Sew Joey. And I took the opportunity to sew up some T-shirts for my sons for this rather than sewing something for myself. And I've made 4 different T-shirts, so I'll show those all to you now. There's 2 T-shirts that I've actually refashioned from T-shirts that were my husband's that he had fallen out of love with, and so I decided to make them into T-shirts for my sons. The first one is this flamingo fabric. It's a navy background with these pink flamingos on, and I have just, as I say, used the T-shirt that was and used the Waves and Wild Explorer raglan tee to make a T-shirt for my younger son. And I was really cheeky. I actually used the bottom hem on the existing T-shirt, so I didn't have to rehem that, and the only thing I did was to just add a new piece of ribbing fabric for the neckband. It was just a tiny little offcut that I had left, so that was a really good way of using that up as well. So that's really cute, and it's come together really nicely, and it's a little washed out, this particular T-shirt, so it's a great T-shirt for my little one to wear to preschool without me worrying about him messing up his clothes. Now the next one is for my older son. Again, this was a refashion from my husband's, one of my husband's not loved T-shirts anymore, and I loved this fabric. I thought it was really nice in terms of its design. I love the tigers on it, and I knew that my younger son would like it too. So what I've done is, again, I've used the hem that was on the actual previous T-shirt, and I've also used the hem on the sleeves, but obviously I've just made them smaller. I used the Waves and Wild Hot Chocolate pattern for this, which is actually a hoodie jumper pattern, but I just cut the sleeves off and didn't do the hemband on it, and that's turned out quite nicely. The bit that took me the longest was unpicking the neckband on the original T-shirt, because I wanted to reuse the ribbing fabric that was on it, because I knew this very sort of thin T-shirt fabric, it's kind of like a viscose fabric. Viscose, jersey viscose, a jersey viscose fabric. Oh my goodness, I knew wouldn't make a very good hemband, and it wouldn't neckband, and it wouldn't lie very flat. So I had to unpick that so that I could obviously change the size of it to fit on this T-shirt, and I think that has worked out really nicely. I'm really chuffed with that one. Now the next 2 T-shirts were made out of the same fabric as each other, and it was these 2 T-shirts here, and so I've made a bigger one for my older son and a smaller one for my younger son. And again, this is using the Waves and Wild Explorer raglan T-shirt, and I've used a gorgeous cotton lycra fabric from a de-stash from the lovely Helen from TShirt Rip Repeat. And this just feels gorgeous. This is the same fabric that I used for the hood lining of the hoodie that I showed you at the beginning. And of course I had loads of that fabric left because the hood didn't take up too much at all. And so I've sewn up these 2 T-shirts. I've still got a bit of this fabric left actually, because I think it was 1.5 meters, the piece that I bought from Helen. So there's still a bit left. So once one of them grows out of a T-shirt, maybe I've got enough to make another one, or a little pair of shorts or something along those lines. I think would be really cute. So more T-shirts, they grow through them at a rate of knots, so I'm really chuffed with those particular ones. Whilst I was editing my video, I realised that I made one more pattern, but unfortunately I haven't been able to share it with you because it's for a pattern test and that hasn't been released yet. But it was something else that I made in June. Now the final thing that I've made is actually for the challenge So Fruity 22 that's been run by Blossom Sandwich, a vet from Blossom Sandwich. Now I wanted to make a jumper as like a sweatshirt for this, and I'd ordered some fabric, but unfortunately that hasn't arrived with me as yet. I have put a email through to the company, but as yet my fabric hasn't arrived, so hopefully that will still turn up. But unfortunately it won't be in time for me to make it up to have made it up for So Fruity. So instead of doing that, I found some fruity fabric, sort of some cotton fabric that I've made some accessories with instead. And what I've made is a little keyring holder and a sunglasses case out of this fabric, fruity fabric, that I picked up from So Hayley Jane when she was doing one of her sort of remnant pieces sale, where she sells off the stuff that would have been in a box. And this, I've just literally made up this of my own design. It's got some iron-on, like fusible fleece wadding type stuff in it, just to give it some weight, if you like, and I've just literally made a strip and folded it over. Very, very simple. And the sunglasses case, I followed a tutorial by Debbie Shaw. If you haven't ever followed one of Debbie's tutorials, they're so good. She's so very, very clear. She's very easy to listen to and makes everything very simple. And I just used a tutorial that she did. I slightly changed the dimensions because the one that she made was quite large, and so yeah, I've just got this, a pair of my son's sunglasses actually, because he saw them and decided that he wanted it for his sunglasses. So that is my So Fruity 22 make, along with the keyring. So I think that's everything from me today. If you have enjoyed today's video and what I've been making in June, please do give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And until next time, take care. Happy sewing. Bye bye.